We'll see. What's up? Are we live? I think we're live. We're live.
We are live, yes.
Yeah? I bet you thought there wasn't going to be a show today, but I called my brother Chris Ho. What's up, Chris Ho?
What's going on? I got nothing to do. Yeah.
You got nothing to do. Rob's apparently got better stuff to do, so I don't know when Rob's going to be back. So we'll see. Fraser's calling us late. What's up, Fraser? What's up, Lewis? Lewis, give us a time clock. I feel like we were on time, but maybe we weren't. So welcome, folks, to a very special edition of the Sidekick Show with me, John Ho, and my brother, Chris Ho. Oh, now I'm effed up because I'm on the other side of the screen. Normally I put Rob over here. So I feel maybe I'll switch it around just so, look.
You're putting me in the main seat.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. All right. So welcome, folks, to a very special episode of Hanging with the Ho Bros.
I thought you were gonna do Super Ho Bros, like
Super Mario?
Super Mario Bros, yeah.
But
I always thought if we ever did a show together, we would do like the Double Dragon. Just paste our face on the Double Dragon picture where they're like,
oh man, Billy and Jimmy,
or
Bimmy and Jimmy. I don't know how it was. Shout out to Double Dragon. What's up? What's up, Dino? So I see a bunch of guys in the chat. So we're gonna be here today. We're putting off the day shift. We're gonna cover the day shift next week. So that is the new Jamie Foxx Netflix show. Because Rob had something pop up, so he couldn't be here, and I know he really wanted to dig into day shift. So you get an extra week to watch that. So catch it on Netflix. It's a lot of fun. I won't say too much about it yet. But also watch your other favorite monster hunting movies. Chris, do you have like a favorite? Is it Blade or Lost Boys or Underworld maybe?
Monster hunting movies. Oh man,
Hellboy maybe?
That one. Yeah, Hellboy's pretty good. I actually saw a movie recently. Or not recently. This past summer, I was like, "Oh, this movie's gonna be garbage." And I watched. It's called like Love and Monsters or something like that. And I thought that was pretty solid.
Oh,
yeah, with the guy from Maze Runner in it. It was pretty decent.
Okay, Love and Monsters. All right, so Chris shouts out Love and Monsters. Maybe they'll come up next week. Lost Boys. What's up, Scott? Scott shouts out Lost Boys. That's the Kiefer Sutherland one. I don't think you remember that one at all, Chris Ho, but
no.
I remember you see the posters and stuff for it a lot. Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. Chris, I don't know if you remember when we were saying anime. That was one of the hot ones. So just that one. I hope they. I think they've done a bunch of follow-ups, but they didn't quite hit. So we'll see. Oh, you know what? Maybe Battle Angel Alita. I don't know if you ever saw that one, the new one with Robert Rodriguez. She's kind of hunting monsters, but anyways, shout out to that. So day shift, put it on your calendar. Next week on Monday, we'll be talking about day shift. But today we're going to talk about some of your underappreciated, underrated TV shows. But we're going to open it up with how was your weekend? So if you guys got to, I think Attack on Titan totally counts as a monster hunting show. I think, it's pretty graphic.
Just don't call Giants Titans.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
They'll come at you in the comments, guys.
We got taught a lesson. Yeah, if you ever want to check out our Green Knight trailer reaction, check the comment section for that slight inside joke. So we want to know what you guys got up to this weekend. There was a lot of content that dropped, a lot of things that aired. I know the new Game of Thrones House of Dragons dropped. So if anyone saw that, let us know. Sandman is still in effect. They dropped a bonus episode out of nowhere. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. All kinds of stuff. Chris, did you get a chance to check out any new stuff this week, or did you catch up on some more?
I actually watched the Elvis movie. It recently got released.
Oh yeah, Elvis just came out on demand. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rob recommended it.
Yeah, I like Elvis songs and things like that, so I'm like, I'll check it out. I'll turn it on and see. Like, I didn't really know the background of the story of Elvis, so it was kind of interesting to watch that. If you want my 10-second review, it was kind of had a really frenetic pace to it. It's kind of off-putting to me. The guy who plays Elvis, this guy Austin Butler, he's probably going to get some award buzz. He did a really good job. He had the mannerisms down. Obviously, the music was great, but whether or not you enjoy this movie is kind of dependent on if you can handle Tom Hanks with these weird prosthetics and like this undiscernible accent and really giving off like a really creepy vibe the whole movie. And that kind of torpedoed it for me. I didn't really know what
so you
Tom
weren't
Hanks
feeling
was doing.
The Tom Hanks role.
Yeah.
But
the
Elvis
guy who played
himself.
Elvis, he was pretty good. I think he'll get some award buzz for sure.
Yeah, because Elvis, we're of the generation. Like, if you didn't discover Elvis and kind of start diving into his music, he's kind of a semi joke to the younger generation, right? He's like the Animaniacs that pop up on screen as this fat guy sitting on a couch and like shoot the
Fat
TV
Elvis.
or Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll always throw those jokes around. Yeah. So we never
what's
got.
he? He's known for like deep fried peanut butter sandwich. That's like that was his snack of choice when he was fat. I think
That
that's
sounds
like
good.
the reference that most people have for him, like is like fat Elvis dying on the toilet. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So he's been relegated to that. So I guess this is going to bring new light on it. So you say it's kind of sad, but it's still a good watch if you can get past the Tom Hanks in a weird fat suit.
He's got like these weird prosthetics on, and maybe that's what the
Yeah.
guy looked like, but it was just
Mhm.
it was really creepy and weird how he was chose to portray that character. Maybe it was super accurate, and I don't know that, but it was kind of an interesting choice for him.
Yeah. Maybe do a little recon on who that character is before you watch the movie. I do want to check it out. Chris knows my wife Lisa, big fan of Elvis, so we'll have to get into it. Big fan
Music's
of his
great. Music's great, and I guess you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the guy who played Elvis actually did the singing too, so it's like he did a really good job.
Yeah. He went on a whole talk show circuit, and he was doing all the imitations of Elvis at the different stages in his life.
Exactly.
Which is cool. So shout outs to that. So I think I'm gonna catch that. How about She-Hulk? I know a couple of the people in the comments mentioned a She-Hulk. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that one, Rob. I was gonna call you Rob. You are my brother, Chris. I've only known you all my life, but I'm still gonna call you the wrong name. What do you think of She-Hulk? We did a full review.
Yeah, you guys did a full recap, so
check that out. But I didn't get your thoughts, Chris. And I guess keep it spoiler light in case some people haven't seen it yet.
After watching the trailers, my expectations were really low, like just the CG and things like that, and it just looked really kind of corny. But watching it, I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was pretty self-aware, and I liked it. Maybe I don't want to break too much spoiler alerts, but the woman who plays She-Hulk is
Tatiana,
is a gold star for her. She played it really well, and she was like just so charismatic, and she just kind of drew me in. So I actually really not really liked it, but I liked it more than I thought I would, for sure.
Yeah. In my review, I said basically she can earn the 10 on her charisma alone. Even when she turns into the She-Hulk and she becomes more of an animated character, you can see kind of her personality and her charisma come through. So
Canadian
too.
Canadian.
Yeah, Canadian.
Another Canadian star in a Marvel.
We're taking over. We're taking over all your MCU characters. If there's an MCU character coming out, odds are Canadian's going to scoop that role up.
Yeah. If you're a Canadian, just stay by the phone. You might get a phone call for the next.
That's what they do. They just call random Canadians and they're like, "Hey, you want to be on this show?"
Exactly. Yeah.
Shout out to her. I think it's really good. I haven't rewatched it since. I watched it twice when it came out. I'm looking forward to the new episode this week, which airs Thursday. So they have a set schedule for that. So shout outs to that. Scott said he watched it. He said he liked it. Lewis said he liked it too as well. So shout outs to She-Hulk. If you don't like it, that kind of sucks. But
I think
there's lots of other things to watch.
Expectations were really low. I feel like those trailers didn't do it justice, like what they were trying to pull off with the show, and I think it pleasantly surprised a lot of people. So we'll see how if it carries through the entire series. But first episode strong, I thought.
Yeah. We'll get away from it in case some people haven't seen it. If you want to see the full review, check it out. And then when episode 2 hits, we'll talk even more about it. Let me see if there was anything else that people said they saw. Someone said they saw Bullet Train. I did watch Bullet Train. That was a lot of fun. We do have a Heroes World podcast review that is available on the audio. I haven't dropped the video yet, so keep an eye out for that. I'm trying to think what else came out. I'm watching on HBO Max. There's a show called Rap Shit. I don't know if you heard of that one, Chris. It's loosely based off of the female duo group City Girls. I don't know if you remember City Girls from that Drake song, Kiki, Do You Love Me? And then two rappers hop on. It's kind of them.
Sure,
It's like loosely based on those performers. And it's produced by Issa Rae. So it's got this really kind of fun feel to it where they kind of tell the story through Instagram and Facebook and like social media memes and stuff like that. So it's a fun show. So I would check it out. It was previewed for a second during that HBO sizzle reel. So if anyone's got anything else,
talk about that sizzle reel for sure. Yeah.
So I think we might as well jump into the news unless you can think of anything else to drop this week. Do we want to talk about Game of Thrones briefly, or do you have that in the news at all?
I do. I have that it just basically broke the HBO streaming platform. Game of Thrones was gone for a while. When it went off the air, it was the biggest show ever. Like people were like like a appointment viewing, like 100%. Tons of people were watching the show, and now they released this prequel, I guess kind of a spin-off thing. The hype is still there. People love it. It crashed the server, so I haven't seen it yet. I will watch it this week for sure. And John said he watched it, and you said
I watched it.
You were seeing lots of dollar signs. And
I watched it, and I did kind of like Game of Thrones originally when I started watching it, and then they started to you don't get too attached to characters in that season 1. Which is something I tend to do. I always get attached to characters, so it's kind of sad to see them go. So I never finished it. And after hearing how bad the ending was, but I did watch this House of the Dragons, and it looked hella expensive. So if anyone else watched it, let us know what you thought of it. But I thought overall it was pretty good. I think it's a long episode. It's like 66 minutes. I don't know if that's normal for Game of Thrones, Chris.
Yeah, well, they vary in length, but yeah, usually over an hour is kind of the norm for
it kind of did have that feel of a mini movie, which I feel like not a lot of shows have achieved. They've all kind of tried to, and then you're kind of like, oh, this episode's too long, or this episode's too short. But this one did actually, it legit to me felt like a kind of mini movie. So I was pretty entertained. There was a lot of dragons on screen, so if you like dragons, check that out. But yeah, I never, like Lewis. Yeah, I never finished Game of Thrones. I don't know who these characters are. It doesn't look like there's a lot of things that you have to know going into this one, so you can probably just jump right in.
I was a big fan of Game of Thrones when it was airing. The big thing is the universe they built. George R.R. Martin, I think that's his name. He built like this crazy fantasy universe with like different houses, and each house has like its own kind of signature way of doing things and personality and look too. Especially you'll see with the dragon or the Targaryens that they have this kind of really blonde hair.
In the episode they pop up all the flags for the different houses. I'm familiar with them because I played the miniature game. But it's cool to see that, and this is not really spoilery, but they have a jousting competition in the first episode, Chris. So not since Heath Ledger's first night.
Shout out, Knight's Tale, yo.
Knight's Tale, which I feel like we should put on the rewatch one of these days, because I feel like that movie's a lot of fun. I haven't seen it in a million years. Yeah, but this episode one
that was one of my guilty pleasures. Growing up.
Yeah.
If you ever do Knight's Tale or 10 Things I Hate About You, I'll go.
Oh, we should do both back to back.
Yeah.
We should do
like
both
my
back
childhood,
to back. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's jump into the news since we've already kind of started it. Chris, we will shout out that if you are not following the store on Instagram, Facebook, Heroes World Online, I got the new comic book releases posted on both of those platforms, and generally all our new stuff gets posted on there. So keep an eye out, especially the Instagram stories. Whenever we get new stuff, I usually try and get them on there so you guys can see what's new, and then we'll try and take nicer pics for the actual official feed. So thank you everybody for checking that out and always sharing. But let me kick it to my brother for the news. We used to do this segment on what I missed, so he's filling in for Rob, and I think he's used to this.
Yeah, maybe. I kind of took a superficial look at the news, kind of like what's breaking, things like that over the weekend. I didn't deep dive into rumors and things like that. That's kind of Rob's territory. I won't tread there. But one thing I love talking about, personally, is the box office. And one of John's new favorite movies, Top Gun Maverick. It took in about 5 million. It's not that much in comparative, but it did take the 6th spot overall in highest grossing movies of all time domestically. So this movie is a juggernaut. It just passed Endgame. Here's the list for anyone who's curious. Crazy that Avatar is still there. So you got Star Wars, Force Awakens. I think that's a good number, or that's an obvious number one. Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man No Way Home. That's pretty recent too. That's crazy that it's up there. Avatar is still kicking it from like almost 10 years ago.
I'm so surprised.
Yeah, Black Panther, and now Top Gun Maverick is creeping up. One thing I'll ask John, because he's such a huge fan of this movie. It comes out streaming tomorrow, I believe, for about
23rd.
It's like $30 or something to rent it. I don't know. That's not going to count for box office. I'm wondering, because it's a paywall, do you think it can pass Black Panther? It's only got a little under 17 mil to go. It made about 5 mil this week. Do you think it has the legs to pass
I think
Black
it's
Panther
still go.
top 5?
I think it's still going to go. If they keep it in theaters, it is a theater experience. So if someone asks me, do you recommend Top Gun Maverick? I'm going to say, yeah, go see it in the theaters if you're comfortable, of course. And I don't know of anything else like on the horizon. Like I don't know if you've kept an eye on what's kind of like coming around the corner.
No.
Nothing really jumps to my mind. My wife was asking me before, like, because they have that scene movie pass where you get like a pass every month or something. He's like, do you need to do this? I'm like, I don't know. I can't think of the next thing I'm gonna watch. So yeah, you guys shout out if you guys think this is gonna climb the chart further and further. We do have the worldwide box office, Chris, which has a slight variation. Right, so let me pop that up.
This is where we get into the billion mark here. So 12th internationally. A lot of Frozen 2 very popular internationally. It looks like Lion King. That's a live action Lion King.
That's the live action Lion King was a juggernaut. I have no clue that movie made that much money.
I guess because it's easily translated to different languages, maybe, because it's all just CG animals and things like that. Avatar #1. Unbelievable. Interesting. I can't hear John. I don't know if you guys can. But yeah, there you go.
Sorry, yeah. I still haven't really seen Avatar. So, and most people tell me I'm not really missing anything. So it must have been that 3D experience that really kind of takes it over the top.
Yeah, internationally sold well, I guess. Yeah. Or it was fourth domestically, so both I guess. I guess the ones that are not in the domestic, you can take a look and see how they do internationally. A lot of cartoons, a lot of Disney properties in there that go up. Yeah, that's an interesting one, I guess, because internationally.
Yeah, Fast and the Furious, and I guess internationally was a juggernaut. That's the newest one, right? 7 is the newest one, I believe, right?
No, 9 was the newest. 7 is like what? 7 was the first one without
5 is The Rock.
Yeah.
6 is the Tony Jaa one, I think, where Paul Walker passed away, right?
Oh, okay. So 7 is the first one without Paul, or after Paul Walker's death. I don't remember who's
I guess it just must have had a big release. So
maybe 8. Maybe 8 was the last. Are we like way off on this? How do we not know this?
It's 8. I think 8 is the newest one. Fast 8. Yeah. Okay. F8. Yeah.
So 8 was John Cena. 7 was Charlize Theron, I think. Right?
Yeah. Something about it. Maybe. Yeah. Shout out.
All right, good. We reconciled that. We're not going to get killed by,
I don't think any Fast and Furious fans are really going to get that.
They have a loyal and vicious following that's going to come at us, I think.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right, cool. So, yeah, that's the box office. I saw some people were shouting out the Dragon Ball new movie.
I looked at the domestic for the weekend, and I saw the Dragon Ball was on top. That was surprising. But, yeah, 20 million, give or take, to be on the top of the domestic box office. So, yeah, a lot of Dragon Ball fans. Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, Dragon Ball is king, Chris O. Like, I never got into it. I feel like I just missed it. I think you're a little bit more into Dragon Ball than me.
Yeah. So, yeah. I saw someone. I was at the gym the other day. I saw someone wearing it was like a shirt. It was like a skin tight like shirt, and it was the, what's that thing called? The gi that Goku wears, that orange thing. And I was like, wow, I guess that, because I see a lot of ones with Captain America or whatever, Iron Man, but that was the first time I saw a Dragon Ball one. And I was like, okay, so this is a popular thing. It's like hugely popular, I guess, right?
Yeah, so shouts to Lewis. It's Fast 9 that we came out.
We got it, Lewis. Story.
Yeah. Thanks, Lewis.
We reconciled it. Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, so shout out to Dragon Ball Juggernaut. I think that's that shirt. I think it's actually called Saiyan gear or something along those lines.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
If you want skin tight anime outfits, hit them up. Maybe. Hey, sponsor us. We'll give us some codes for some super tight Saiyan gear. All right. Anything else after the box office, Chris?
We got the Disney Plus Day, September 8th was announced with some content. Maybe there'll be more. We have a little image here. The big thing is, I guess, Thor: Love and Thunder will be available streaming. Some other things, like if you have kids, Frozen sing along is a pretty big deal.
I feel like Frozen sing alongs have already been on YouTube for so long.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like absolutely useless. And then putting their She-Hulk on there, which just happens to air
comes out weekly.
It seems like we're just like, let's just fill some space.
Yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi, A Jedi's Return. So that's a making of. It's not an original movie or anything. Yeah, behind the scenes.
I'm not gonna watch.
And I guess the big original one, I don't know if Cars on the Road is original, but the one is Pinocchio. It's an original live action / CGI retelling of Pinocchio. I don't know who wanted this, but There it
Who
is.
asked for this? Did you ever hear of that other Pinocchio movie that has Pauly Shore as the voice of Pinocchio?
Pauly Shore. Wow.
Yeah, Pauly Shore. Yeah, I thought it was this one, but it's apparently some other one.
Yeah,
But
this
I
is
don't know
this
who
like
asked for.
that's Tom Hanks, right, as Geppetto. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who asked for a Pinocchio movie. You're right. I would more watch a Jiminy Cricket movie. But sure, bring Pinocchio back. Why not? I don't remember the plot of Pinocchio at all. And if anyone in the comments remembers Pinocchio's overall plot, I think I kind of remember Dumbo,
It's a boy
but
that
I
comes
don't
to
remember
life. Yeah,
Pinocchio
I
at
guess.
all.
He lies, his nose grows. It gets him into trouble probably somehow.
Yeah. it seems like a tested formula. And then Thor: Love and Thunder. Chris, are you gonna watch it? I think you didn't go with us
Yeah, I
to
didn't.
theaters to watch it.
I passed initially, and then everyone kind of gave it lukewarm reviews. So I figured, you know what, I can wait for this one. Yeah, John.
We
John
know Pinocchio, Scott. We just don't remember it. So I don't think we ever had, like, if Disney had a list, or if they had the blank space and it said, "What would you like to see brought back?" I would like to know if anyone ever wrote in Pinocchio. So shouts out to that. I don't even think he has his own ride on Disney World, but whatever. Yeah, Lou said he had it back on VHS. Like, that was probably the last time you watched Pinocchio. But
yeah, back in the days of like Aladdin and Lion King on VHS. I remember they had the big white cases for those things that would open up like a book. Do you remember those? Yeah.
Yeah, those things never lasted. They like broke in a second.
Yeah. So obviously with Disney Plus Day, they're kind of hinting at various things, like maybe are they going to announce Fantastic Four? Are they going to announce this? Things like that. But I guess Disney Plus would be more streaming stuff. So maybe you might see like a Daredevil teaser or something like that. Maybe something along those lines that people will be very excited about. But yeah, that's that. We did talk about House of the Dragon, but the other thing that dropped yesterday was a huge, not really huge, but it was a sizzle reel of all the HBO properties coming out. And the big thing was our first look at Last of Us, the TV show based on the super popular PlayStation 4 or PlayStation game, not PlayStation 4, with Pedro Pascal as the lead, Joel, and Mandalorian himself. So, did you play Last of Us, John?
I own a copy of the first one on PlayStation, and for some reason
it's been remastered like 20 times.
Yeah. Like I never got around to it. It's like
yeah.
I think I started to play it, and this game was not like you didn't start with a gun, to my understanding, right? You kind of just like wandering around. I don't remember.
Yeah,
it wasn't
some story. Yeah, you had some story at the very beginning. It's kind of, I don't want to spoil it. Or it's been like 10 years since it came, or more than 10 years since it came out. But yeah, there's a really sad part at the beginning. You kind of just roll through, and then you get into it after maybe about 15-20 minutes of walking around and getting story. Then you kind of get into the zombie fighting.
Yeah, I remember it was one of those games that actually sold out. I think it was like if you wanted to get it on launch day, you couldn't, which was like kind of a new, like not a new thing to happen, but it hadn't happened in a long time.
Yeah, it did set like a precedent for like video games that could be movies. It had like a great voice acting cast and things like that before you were getting like really piss poor voice acting in video games. And this one was built out like a movie, and you had like really good voice actors doing things. This and Uncharted kind of did that. Uncharted was a little more wacky and kind of cartoony, but this one was very other than the zombies obviously, but more gritty and kind of
Uncharted, you had a gun right out the gate, so it was like straight into the action. This one's a little more tame. I think it did have a slight multiplayer version or multiplayer element to it, and I never got into it. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are happy about this. What did you think of that little teaser? It's literally at the very end of the sizzle reel, right?
Yeah,
you get to see all the shows that are out right now or coming out soon, and then at the very, very end they show a little bit of this. What did you think overall of this trailer?
Of just the Last of Us part? I liked it. The imagery was very like conducive of the video game, and I played the video game twice. I played it whenever they remade it, and I was a huge fan of it. So yeah, I thought the imagery was great, and his voice was very Joel-esque. Joel has a very like raspy, like deep voice, and he kind of just embodied it pretty well. So it's good. It'll be good to see Pedro Pascal's face in a show. Mandalorian. We just hear his voice, and once in a while see him.
We've only seen him in the unbearable weight of massive talent, and the Wonder Woman 84 movie, which we're gonna try not to talk about ever again. But it seems to keep coming up, no matter how hard we try. But yeah, it looked hella expensive. That I don't know what you would call it, the crane shot of this bridge that was all like snow covered when they zoomed out. Very similar shots to like the the House of Dragons, where they just kind of pull out,
Yeah.
and you just see this massive looking
HBO,
scenery piece.
HBO has some good budget, man, in some of these shows.
Oh
right?
man,
Yeah. Filmed in Canada, I think. Rob knows exactly where, but filmed somewhere in Canada. That show,
up the street from his place.
But yeah, that's all the news bits I had. I don't hope I didn't miss anything big, but that's basically all I got.
Yeah. The only other thing I was gonna bring up was I heard a rumor that Avatar had been removed from all streaming services because it's possibly showing up in theaters again. What do you think of this tactic? Do you think anyone that was like planning to go see the re-release is like, oh, you know what? Now it's off streaming. Now I'm really gonna go. Like, I feel like
I was waiting.
Yeah,
I was
waiting to
watch it, but now I'm gonna do it. No, I can't do it now. What the hell? Like, I better go to the theater. No, I don't know. I don't get this Avatar thing. Like, James Cameron spent like 20 years now making a sequel, and it's like, is the demand really there? We just looked at the top box office, and it's there. It's top 5 in both. So it's like, okay, so maybe there's a following for this. But everyone I talk to is like nonchalant about it. They're like, the movie wasn't that good. Like, it was maybe
well, it was the introduction of this 3D technology. They proceeded to kind of like cash grab after that. So some movies, yes, formulated for 3D. Some movies, not so much, and they just got the 3D tacked on.
Yeah,
and it was basically a way to upcharge us for our tickets. And
it's extra technology used.
And being a corrective lens wearer, it's not a fun thing.
I remember trying to watch it. I'd never seen it, obviously, and then I tried to watch it on a plane once a couple years ago, and I just couldn't get through it. So maybe that's not the targeted audience for that on a tiny plane screen. But man, it's just a shame that James Cameron has spent like so much time. Not really a shame, but it's interesting how he spent so much time developing the sequel, like, and nothing else. So, James Cameron just took himself out of the game just to do this. So maybe the sequel is going to be super groundbreaking, but I don't see how that could happen.
I feel like developing those underwater cameras for Titanic and stuff, it seemed like a much bigger deal than but you know what, maybe we're being a little bit ignorant in all the technology that has come from that Avatar movie. So maybe the cameras, not necessarily just the ones that make 3D, but I think a bunch of the other cameras and stuff that were developed for that have become standard fare.
I just mean it's been too long between, like, I don't think anyone even would you like. I've never heard someone go, "Yo, my favorite movie is like Avatar."
I've never heard that before. What are your top 5 favorites? Well,
you can make a case.
I got Avatar and Terminator
Avatar was
2
awesome.
on the list.
But like, you look at that top 5 list, and like, you can make a case for any of those except, I don't know, Avatar's like, Anyway, someone will hopefully maybe enlighten us in the comments or online.
I don't think so. I've never heard anyone stick up for this movie and go, "This was amazing." So we'll see. We'll see when it happens when the sequel comes out. Maybe I'll change my tune. I'll watch Avatar 2 and I'll be like, "Oh my god, I wish I had saw Avatar 1 and had been
I'm gonna go back.
Day one fan." What's up, Sarah? In case you're joining us late, Rob is not here, so if you're looking for Rob, he'll be back next week. And you are hanging with the Hobros. So just in case you missed this logo I made up, which I straight up ripped from Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and just put the Hobros at the end. But anyways, shout outs to that.
Is that on your list, John? Underrated TV shows?
Hanging with Mr. Cooper, what a great show. So let's dive into our topic, and we'll see how much mileage we get out of it. And then see if we call it early tonight or not. So thank you everybody for joining us. Definitely, if you are not already following us on YouTube, definitely hit subscribe so you can check out our live content as we drop. We stream every Monday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we also do drop the Heroes World podcast pretty much once a week. So let's see. I don't know what Dino's referring to here, but how weird people got after Avatar. You have to elaborate on that, Dino.
Did they start painting themselves blue? Or...
Yeah, maybe everyone was like, "I really like this lifestyle, and I'm going to become blue."
Trying to get a second life in a virtual reality.
No, Sarah, no. Okay, anyway, Chris, let's jump into it. So, underrated or underappreciated TV shows, folks. If you got any on your list, start getting your list ready and stuff like that. We'll talk a little bit about it, and we'll kind of jump back around on different shows and other shows that we heard are underrated and talk about it a little bit. But when I popped up a list, Chris, I did see Entourage on there. So I don't know what we think of Entourage now. I don't know if anyone's ever gone back and rewatched it lately. I feel like it doesn't quite have the same magic, but I feel like this show was a big deal at the time it came out. So I don't think it would be on anyone's underappreciated
I don't think
list.
I wouldn't call it underrated.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this kind of show is one of those shows that kind of a different era. I guess a pre-Me Too type of era show. So you kind of watch it now. There's probably a lot of cringy things in there. Like how the Ari treats his staff and other things like that. But I feel like it got a proper amount of buzz in the hetero male community.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't call it underrated.
Yeah, one of the things of the show, I don't know if it's an acceptable insult nowadays or whatever, was to call someone a douchebag, or douche. And I feel like everybody just started using that in their speech for like that entire era where that show was popular. But yeah, shout out to
I remember like hug it out, bitch was a big thing from that show.
Yeah,
and things like that. Yeah, but I did watch it a lot when it was out, and I watched every episode. So
we're a big fan. I never watched the movie.
I thought it was great. Yeah,
I never watched the movie or any of the stuff that came afterwards. I just wasn't feeling anymore. But every time I've tried to fire it back up, it doesn't feel the same. Maybe I have to get to the point where Jeremy Piven really starts to go full crazy with his Ari character, and maybe just that performance will hit. So in a similar vein, Atlanta, which kind of is kind of got a little bit of Entourage's kind of swag to it. Would we consider that an underrated show? I feel like this show.
No. Yeah, no? This show is properly rated. I think because of. I think when shows get award buzz and Atlanta gets award buzz, I think Donald Glover actually won an award for it. But I think that would be a sign of it being properly rated if it gets award buzz and things like that.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So let's jump. I just grabbed a bunch of pictures to just kind of get us rolling.
It's a good show though. I'm not saying it's a bad show. I'm just.
Oh yeah. I quite like.
I would say properly rated. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen beyond season 1, I think, so I'm gonna have to get in on that. Let me throw this one out. Mr. Robot. I feel like everyone was watching this at one point. I don't know if anything was to come of it afterwards. But Mr. Robot, I think you watched this show.
I watched the first season and I found it semi-interesting being working in the tech world myself, kind of just semi-interesting. And the guy, Rami Malek, the main character is terrific acting by him. But I never got past season 2. I don't know for some reason or other I never got past season 1. And but I know there's buzz on this show too. I would again call this properly rated.
Okay. So no sweat. I just want to throw a couple things to get the discussion going. I saw in the chat we already have like a pretty good one. I think I don't know if you remember this one, Chris, but it was Almost Human with Carl Urban and Michael.
I will actually. I think it's only one season. I thought this was a good show. The super underrated Carl Urban, maybe not so much anymore with the boys, but at the time, incredibly underrated actor Carl Urban could do anything, basically any role you want, villain, good guy, bad guy, anti-hero, things like that. And I thought it was a pretty good concept and a cool sci-fi show. Yeah,
it was a cool side. He was a cop. I think he was an old school regular cop, and then he gets teamed up with this kind of synthetic android. Yeah. You guys can correct me.
Kind of like an iRobot vibe, but
100%. Yeah, and I actually really dig these like cyberpunk shows, and I feel like there was nothing else really in that market. So I feel maybe it was just ahead of its time, but there looked like there was a lot of money spent on it. I don't remember.
I think it was a Fox show and.
Okay.
We know how Fox is, especially.
That was the era where everything was getting canceled after one season.
Exactly.
So it's like you can't really get into a show because they were canceling it so fast. So
I think if it existed in the streaming era, I think it'd probably be pretty successful. Kind of like that. I forget what that show is called, but it had the guy from RoboCop in it.
Oh, Peter Weller?
No, the new RoboCop.
Joe Kinnaman. Yeah. I was gonna say Almost Human again. It's not. No, the name of that one is Altered Carbon. Altered Carbon. Go. I actually really like that show too. Actually, I didn't even think to put it on my list. But yeah, Altered Carbon. I even like season 2. You guys can get at me if you disagree with that. But let's start jumping to. I guess we'll throw out some of our, since we talked about Almost Human. Let's go to some. I guess because it's a cop show. Let's. Shout out to Michelle, who references the new RoboCop. Yeah, Chris O.
Yeah. you were on it though. I said RoboCop. You said Peter Weller right away. That's the correct RoboCop.
Yeah, that's the correct RoboCop. When you talk about RoboCop, in the grand scheme of things, you are always referring to.
I actually saw the new one in theaters in D-Box. And
you saw it in D-Box?
I was like, oh, what a waste of money that was to watch the new RoboCop remake in D-Box.
It was maybe 2 scenes away from actually being a semi-decent movie. I went with my buddy Wanyan, who's a huge RoboCop fan, and we went to see it, and he just looked at me after. I was like, no.
Did he walk out?
I was like, nope. But it had some cool designs and stuff like that. So yeah, good catch, Michelle. Let me jump to some cop shows. So The Wire, I did see on that underappreciated list, and I feel like some people maybe haven't watched it, maybe due to availability. But one of my shows, I am watching The Rookie as well, which feels like a spiritual successor.
I wouldn't call this show underrated. Anything with Nathan Fillion.
Oh no, it's not underrated. I'm saying it's the spiritual successor. I think this is a smash hit for Fillion in this cast. I think they're on season like 4 or 5. Or
Nathan Fillion, I found out like not recently, but I know Nathan Fillion within a certain age demographic of I think it's like women from like 40 to like a certain age, like love this guy. Like they cannot get enough of this guy, Nathan Fillion, and that's his and like this key demo. Obviously, us Firefly fans love him too, but yeah, he can do no wrong.
Yeah. He's got that Midas touch. Yeah, Lewis, I encourage you to fire up season 2. I actually just jumped back onto season 2. And they go a lot of different places with that show. But anyways, this jumps to my kind of first pick for my most underrated show, and this is a show called Southland, which did feature Regina King and the guy from OC. Of course, I forgot his name now. I want to say Ben Kingsley. No,
Ben McKenzie.
Ben McKenzie. Yeah. It's a cop show, a very similar vein, where you get to see the street cops, like the beat patrol foot patrol people, and then you get to see the detectives, and you get to see this whole interaction. But it was really like gritty, really kind of like real with the kind of situations they had to do. They would go on, they would splice in these random calls they would go on to, and it'd just be really effed up situations that are very reality based. So it was kind of like dark and fun at the same time. So I really missed this show. I don't even know how you would even get it right now. I don't know if it's on streaming. But I did want to shout out that this is I feel like it's like
so we have a couple cop shows on our list and things like that. Southland, I guess more like I don't want to say mainstream, but a more like a streamlined cop show. Like The Wire, I think is properly rated because it's a great show. It's probably the best cop show I've seen. But it takes a certain type of person to watch it and enjoy it. Like The Wire is like working a case like realistically, like how
you basically have to follow the progression. You don't get a payoff every episode. Whereas The Rookie, it's formulated that you get a beginning of a case, you get a whole bunch of action, and then you get a resolution to that case.
The Wire, The Wire is anchored by like great performances and like a real great storyline. It's just like we have to get The Wire. We have the budget to get The Wire. We have to get The Wire. Now we have to work The Wire. You have to keep working The Wire until you actually get some good evidence again. And you're like building a case. And that's interesting to me. That's very interesting. So I thought that was a great look inside, and I like that show. But it's not a show that you can go like just recommend to someone you've met, like maybe just met. Like,
I'm looking for something to watch tonight.
I've got The Wire. Yeah, exactly.
I'm off Friday night. What should I watch? And you're like, The Wire. Let me know what you think of it.
You might put that guy to bed or that person to bed like immediately. But I get why. I think that's why I think The Wire is properly rated, and Southland is more of a streamlined cop show, I would say. Not mainstream, but streamlined in the sense that it's digestible in the sense that you're going to get some action, you're going to get like different things, and as well as the dark gritty cop stuff. Yeah.
And shout outs to Michelle, who is going to bring up. I don't know if you remember this show, Chris. Drive, starring Nathan Fillion, which is like a cannonball run type race where they all had to get into cars and get to a certain point. It only lasted 6 episodes.
Must have been a Fox show for sure.
I don't know if I would consider it underrated, but it did feature a whole bunch of hot muscle cars, and it was probably just a little bit before Fast and the Furious started to make all that stuff popular. So they probably missed their point. But Chris, you also have a cop show on your underrated list.
So I'll just admit right now, like I have I've been mimicking a lot of guilty pleasures, but a guilty pleasure show is Letterkenny. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of this show, but there's a guy from Letterkenny called Jared Kiso. He's the star, and I was just randomly like, I think I was maybe on Amazon, and I was just like looking up random stuff, and I'm like, oh, there's Jared Kiso in a show. and it's a cop show called 19-2, which is about
here's
Montreal.
Letterkenny first, which looks hella weird show already. So
yeah, it's probably like the whitest show on TV you can watch, Letterkenny. But anyways, I find it funny. But this show that had him before he was on Letterkenny was called 19-2, and it's a Canadian show. It takes place in Montreal in the district of 19-2, and it's about cops in that district. And I first saw it. Well, it was a Canadian show. I'm gonna watch it. I thought it was gonna be like some sort of like fluffy, like this perception of Canada. It's not as dark and gritty as the US, and I thought it'd be kind of like a fluff like show, procedural show. But this show is dark. It's like gritty as hell. They deal with like serious issues, issues facing cops today, and even in today's side, even those came out like maybe 5+ years ago, and it's really dark and pretty violent too, and it has some good storylines, great performances by the main characters there. The guy from
Uncle Phil
from the new Fresh Prince. Yes, he was
Phil
also on 24. He's Canadian, obviously, because it's a Canadian show, but and I thought it was good. I don't know where it's streaming. I guess Bravo, maybe. You can find out
Bravo, but yeah,
it's a great show.
We don't have Rob to fact check us on those types of things.
But yeah, pleasantly surprised. There's one episode where there's like a shooting in a university, and the whole squad has to kind of storm this university and take down the shooter, and that was like really intense, great TV, I thought, or cop show TV stuff. So yeah, anyways, good.
Yeah, so maybe people check. I'm gonna check out that show. Looks like everybody else is on to Letterkenny.
Yeah, I shouldn't have mentioned Letterkenny.
So you should have picked that as your choice, which seems to be the hot choice.
I would call that more of a guilty pleasure than underrated.
Yeah. Since you're throwing up guilty pleasure, I'll have one more cop show that I'm gonna throw up as a guilty pleasure, and that's Banshee from Cinemax, starring Homelander. Homelander, who is basically
fresh buzz cut there.
Yeah. He looks pretty. It took me a while to put two and two together and realize that he was playing Homelander when I was watching The Boys. I was like, damn. But this show is actually the spiritual prequel, if you can call that, to that newer show called The Warrior, which is like based off of Bruce Lee's writings and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Just style wise, I think a lot of the people that worked on this show worked on that show. So if you like people being badasses and kicking ass, then 100% check out Banshee. Some of the points where the story goes to and the amount of bodies that hit the floor makes it semi-unbelievable, which brings it over to the guilty pleasure territory. But if you want to have a lot of fun, this character that he plays, Sheriff Hood, who was actually a career criminal who stumbles across a situation where he's able to take over the sheriff's place and become the sheriff of this small town that deals with all this craziness that happens. You'll have a lot of fun. This one is actually available on Crave right now. And I think it's like three, maybe 4 seasons. So if you want to watch that, and then it is really unreal to watch this, Chris. I just rewatched season 1. And now I'm jumping on to The Boys season 2. It's really weird to see him in this Homelander. He kind of acts a little bit the same, but kind of like the Homelander character is like crazy. Definitely deserves an MVP for his portrayal of this Homelander.
Great actor. I think Martin Starr is his name, and you can obviously see how good he is.
I think it's Anthony Starr, isn't it?
Anthony Starr. Martin Starr is. Anyways, I know who he is. He's a Canadian guy from.
We don't know names.
Anyways, he's from Silicon Valley. Gil Ford from Silicon Valley. Anyways.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Martin. That's Martin. Right. He's also in Spider-Man. But yeah.
Right.
Anyways, Anthony Starr, great actor, great at playing like it's a psychopath who's like has like weird like insecurities at the same time, like a super powerful guy with like deep insecurities. I thought that was when he was Homelander. So anyways.
I'm gonna be very curious to see what he does after he wraps The Boys, because that Homelander role he's really like killing it in that. So let's jump to some fantasy stuff, or I don't know if you would call this the fantasy historical genre, but of course Game of Thrones definitely not considered underrated or underappreciated.
People would say overrated, I think.
Yeah. But what do you remember this Marco Polo series that hit Netflix? I remember like a lot of people.
I never watched this show, but what I heard about this show was like they kind of like put together like some sort of algorithm about like what people like to see on TV, and they kind of use that to make this show. So like like to see sex and they like see violence and things like that, and they kind of try to put together to make this show popular with audience. That's what I heard about it.
There's a bunch of like really cool choreographed fight type stuff that goes on in this show, but I wouldn't choose this one, but it kind of leads into I think one of Chris's choices, which is kind of the prequel to a lot of the things that became popular now. And that's the Rome series, right?
Yeah, this is still it's still one of my favorite shows. I feel like it doesn't get a lot of the credit it deserves, kind of starting this genre of like political intrigue and in like these ancient Roman times and things like that. But yeah, I thought this show had everything. Great performances, violence, political intrigue, and then obviously like some sex position like they have in Game of Thrones.
Oh man, it's become the norm. So like any movie that has this fantasy setting, like Game of Thrones, or I like the kind of like, I don't know if you would call it a dumbed down version or whatever, but Spartacus would kind of all steal like from this thing. And I feel like a lot of people didn't watch it because it was an HBO show before. Yeah,
it felt like one of those like when Rome came out. I thought when I first like started hearing about it, I thought it was like kind of like one of those like made for TV movies where they kind of show to tell the story of like Julius Caesar, but like this is kind of like a reimagining of how that kind of stuff happened. Like they stick to kind of the facts, report facts, but then they have like these different entry point, which is these two soldiers that are kind of like grunts in the war, and they kind of spark all the tragedy and changing of power in Rome. And I thought that was it was a really good show, really well put together. And it only got 2 seasons, but it only stopped because it was getting too expensive and because the sets were way too expensive. Not a problem now with Game of Thrones. Everything's I don't know how much million each episode of Game of Thrones is, but it's crazy. You're muted, John. You might have tapped your mic.
Oh, sorry. When I click around the mouse, I try to mute so we don't hear clicking all the time. But whatever, you can hear some clicking. So shout out to So Fraser and Lewis both like Spartacus, but
Spartacus was fun. It was
if you want something a little more serious, I think Rome is definitely gonna scratch that itch. So yeah, I remember you raving about that show long time ago.
Loved it.
Yeah. So yeah, shout outs to Rome and historical cultural things. I really wanted the end of Spartacus to not be historically accurate.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
But that show was a lot of fun. Shout outs to Steve, we're gonna delve into the comedy a little bit. The Harley Quinn animated show. I don't know if you watched that show at all, Chris. But
yeah, I watched the first 2 seasons, and it's very funny. I'm surprised they let them do the jokes they do.
Oh yeah. A lot of jokes at the expense of Batman and the Justice League.
Like just like shitting all over your favorite, like previously like untouchable characters. That just dunking on all of them and making fun of them. Like the Bane. The Bane is just like the guy or whatever the Bane character is just such a huge exaggeration, kind of making fun of how Tom Hardy did Bane. I'm Gotham's reckoning. Like everything is something's reckoning. But that's a great
I
show.
think he has a mug or something that says the reckoning of Gotham. It's like a lot of really funny stuff, and I feel like that show is kind of considered underrated because no one really talks about it.
I can't watch it like a lot of episodes back to back. It's just the girl who plays Harley. It just sounds like she's just yelling the whole time. Like I prefer the previous Harley from cartoons, the one from the animated series. But anyways, she was a little more like subtle,
maybe a little over the top that you don't want to watch. Well, there's shorter episodes, so I find if you watch like 10 short episodes in a row, it doesn't kind of have that same impact. Like I don't know how many people went and watched like all of the I Am Groot shorts in a row, but I feel like that's not kind of as good. But let's delve into the comedy realm a little bit. Chris, I think you're familiar with this show here.
Yeah, this show is not underrated. This show is not called.
So
the issue with this show is the first season. It's kind of trying to find its legs, kind of like the U.S. version of The Office. It's kind of trying to find its legs, and then when the second season hits, it's like straight to the moon. It's like amazing. One of the best comedies ever made. This show.
I just wanted to kind of warm up the waters with something that maybe some people
look at all the stars in there though, like Aubrey Plaza, the Chris Pratt obviously, and Amy Poehler. A lot of big stars in this now.
Yeah. Oh man, Aziz got big for a little while too, right?
Yeah,
I feel like he had like his own comedy special and a bunch of different shows of his own.
He has his own show, that's on some people's lists. Master of None is on some people's underrated list.
This is Parks and Rec, right? This is Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec, Sometimes I call it Community by accident.
Oh, you call it Community? Sorry, Parks and Rec. Sorry,
No, I didn't call it Community. I said sometimes I've called it Community by accident, just because it's an ensemble cast type thing. but
It's a great
it's
show.
definitely
Yeah.
both great shows. But I did want to bring up Chris's one, which actually
Yes.
I forgot about this show. This show was a ton of fun. Better Off
Yeah,
Ted.
this is great. This show is incredibly hilarious. It's about like a multinational company that's kind of like, and that guy in the front there, the guy that kind of looks like a younger Adam Levine, but like he runs like a science division of a multinational company, and like and obviously multinational companies super evil, and he's just trying to like reconcile it in his head, like about trying to be more, a good moral person, but like working for this like really crazy multinational essentially evil company. And yeah, it's just so hilarious. Anyways, yeah, it was one of my favorite shows.
His name is Jay Harrington. You've seen him around. I remember the little scientist guys in the back were absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And then the lady to his I guess right was like
Ellen's,
the kind of
Ellen's wife. Oh no, Portia de Rossi from
Portia de Rossi. She played kind of like the cold-hearted
Arrested Development. Yeah, but she played like a great character, like a heartless executive. Doesn't care about any people, no scruples, kind of like just trying to tell this guy what to do. But it was great. Yeah, really fun show. Oh, I think only 2 seasons, unfortunately, but yeah,
really really short, but it was a lot of fun. And even that the girl to the other side, Andrea Anders, which I do remember from the Friends spinoff, Joey.
That's not on your list.
Joey is not on my list. You know what? If they pop Joey up, and when you're watching Friends on Crave or whatever streaming service it's on now, if Joey popped up after, maybe you would click that button and watch a couple episodes.
I think Joey got a surprisingly surprising number of seasons. I don't know. You can look it up. But how many seasons did Joey get? I think it was at least 2 or 3. I was like, wow, like how did it get 3 seasons or whatever? I guess TV was just whatever back in the day.
Yeah, it got 2 seasons.
2 seasons? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, they gave it a chance. Yeah, shout out to Michelle. Michelle said Joey was fun. I think it was kind of fun for a little while. And if they got to the point where, I don't know if you watch Cougar Town, where everyone started to appear in it. If they may have gotten to that point where they started shoving people in from other stuff, from other popular TV shows, like I think Cougar Town ended up with almost the entire cast of Scrubs on it at some point. So if Joey got to a point where it started just cameoing people from all over the place.
Actually, speaking of Joey, there was a show I wanted to include on my list, but I didn't send it to you. It's called Episodes, and it's about like this British couple who writes a show that's popular in the UK, and they bring it to the US, and like it's all the craziness that happens with US TV instead of British. And Matt LeBlanc, who's Joey, plays a version of himself on that show, and it's really funny. But I don't know where you can find the show.
When he was rocking the silver hair, right?
Yeah. He plays a version of himself, and like he befriends that British guy, and it's really funny. Anyways, I don't know where you can find it, but that was another one.
Shout out to a lot of these shows that are going to be kind of harder to find on TV.
Oh my god, yeah.
Maybe you can find it on Tubi or something like that, or maybe we'll compose a list of where you can actually watch some of these. I did want to shout out Nora from Queens, available on Crave or HBO Max. Aquafina doing some really outrageous shit. So if you are ready to,
don't judge this show on season 1. I think if you could just jump into season 2, season 2 was like, I thought, way better than season 1, and they did like I didn't want to cut you off, sorry, John, but they did some crazy stuff in season 2.
Season 2 is where they really go outside of the box.
They did like time travel. They did like
time travel happening,
alternate dimensions, things like that. Yeah.
Season 1, there's some parts that are a little cringe. They're kind of still finding their way, but it's pretty fun, especially if you're a Aquafina fan like myself.
Canceled, I think, unfortunately, that show.
She's
too busy. She might be too busy.
Maybe something along those lines. But let me see if we had any other ones we wanted to cover. If anyone else has got something, shout it out now. I think I've only got one more, Chris, that I want to. Do you have any other ones that you want to talk about?
There was a show I watched. It was called Happy Endings, and I thought that was like the new version of Friends, and I thought that was a really good show. I think it was on ABC. Anyways, that was a good show. It had a couple of guys you probably know, like Damon Wayans Jr., Damon Wayans' son, things like that.
Damon Wayans Jr.
And it was like a newer version of Friends, but not like exactly like Friends. It was kind of like right in my age range.
Most people have probably seen this poster. I feel like I've seen this poster of all the people in the bed together. And then there's a character there, Adam Pally, who plays like a really, at the time, was a really fresh take on a homosexual guy who was like very like jockey, and I thought it was very good.
fresh take. Anyways,
there's a lot of there's a lot
hey,
of
Rob
who's.
Corddry's in there. Anyways, but yeah, I thought that was a good kind of trying to be like friends and actually successfully doing it, and then just kind of dropped off.
Yeah. All right. I have one more that I want to mention just because I feel like it doesn't get as much love as it should. But I'll jump over here. Let me see. Two guys, a girl, in a pizza place. I vaguely remember
Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is like a baby when he was. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds was in that show and super young. Like look it up and show the picture. But yeah, super young Ryan Reynolds. Like I say baby face, kind of like when Bradley Cooper was on Alias, if you remember that. Like super young. But yeah, I watched that show when it came out. Yeah,
I remember. Yeah. It was hard because that was before streaming, before the internet, right? So you just had to catch these shows on TV.
Yeah, on TV. Yeah, whenever they were on.
Which
is
had
a good time slot. That time slot was everything. Yeah.
Yeah. TGIF or maybe or the Saturday night programming. Those were the spots to be in. Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, Chris, did you hear that they're going to do a RIPD 2?
Yeah.
Straight to video, but no Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Do you think this movie has any chance in hell in working?
I think it was filmed essentially like in secret, and no one knew about it until they applied to get their ratings. So it got a PG-13 rating, and they're like, "What? There's a sequel for this coming out?" So yeah, we can talk about Lower Decks in a second, but yeah, it's kind of like the reverse of what happened with Batgirl. Right? They filmed it in secret, and now they're going to release it. Everyone's going to be like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, anyways, no Jeff Bridges, no Ryan Reynolds. So. But that was a critically panned movie. Anyways, it's probably one of Ryan Reynolds' worst movies. I don't know. That and Green Lantern, I guess, kind of like neck and neck.
I feel like Green Lantern wasn't the worst thing on the planet, but shout outs. Yeah. Lower Decks, Lewis even corrects himself. It's not underrated, but Lower Decks is a lot of fun for a show.
Yeah, I Lower Decks, like, I remember watching the first episode and being like, kind of like, it's all right. Kind of, I feel like they're not really utilizing the property. And then as I continued to watch it, got better and better. And then season 2 I thought was good too.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Lower Decks, I think it's great, digestible, animated fun. So Chris, the last show I just want to shout out before we get things wrapped up is I'm pretty sure it's one of your all-time favorites as well, and I feel like not a lot of people got to see this show at the time, and so much talent has come up from this show that I feel like everyone should give it a chance. And that's Friday Night Lights, and I think you can watch it on Crave. You got Taylor Kish in there, and Minka Kelly,
Michael B. Jordan in season 4.
Yeah, and then season 2 has Michael B. Jordan and it has like a whole bunch of other people in it. And this was just a great show. I wouldn't really call it a sports show. It was more of a drama of these kids growing up in Texas.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite shows of all time. Minus season 2, which I didn't like, but
is that the writer's strike one? Is that the writer's strike?
Yeah. I think so. It was a short season.
So season 2 has a storyline that they cooked up, and it gets pretty intense, and then it seemingly disappears.
It's just gone. Yeah.
After the writing strike resolves, which sucks because I think the writer's strike hit a lot of people's favorite shows and just kind of like caused damage that was not really fixable. I
don't think it was in the picture there, but. Connie Britton, everyone loves Connie Britton. The mom character, Tammy Taylor, and then Kyle Chandler, who I love. This guy's awesome, super underrated actor. He should be in everything. It was played the main character, the coach, and just the amount of like intense scenes where he's trying to motivate these ridiculous high school kids like to play the way they should.
To play and just get by in life.
Well, not just playing. He's molding them and making them better at life, basically. But anyways, that's one of my favorite shows of all time. It's great.
Even sports, Chris Williams, Black Lightning himself, plays Michael B. Jordan's dad, and like just like anybody who is like a big talent. I forgot what her name was, the girl who plays Black Canary in the new show. She was in it too, as well as one of the female leads when the Michael B. Jordan era started. So this show essentially ushered out its entire original cast at the midway point, and then ushered in like a whole new cast.
Kept the 2 best characters, the mom and the coach, and then just kind of reset.
I would have liked to see more Matt Saracen. I wasn't super happy with the way his character went, but shout out to that. If you guys have ever watched Friday Night Lights, if you haven't, don't mistake it for that movie. I think the movie was not as well received. It is all based off of a book, and it does have football attached to it, but it is not only a football show. But when they play a game, it's hella fantastic and very edge of your seat.
Yeah, John's not even a sports guy.
Yeah,
he won't be able to tell you.
I wanted to get into football after watching the show. I'm like, man, Chris, we really missed out. We didn't go to the park. We didn't throw the football around.
Yeah.
We didn't get to stand in the huddle and go, gentlemen, it's been an honor. The Replacements with Keanu Reeves as well. So shout outs to fun football movies, but never having played football. So shout outs to those. Thanks everybody. If you guys have any other underrated, underappreciated TV shows, maybe we'll have to do a movie follow-up or something like that. Chris, any
sounds like we should do guilty pleasures. A lot of people want to shout out their guilty pleasure shows. I don't know if you've done that before, but
I think we've always included a guilty pleasures choice in some of our categories, but we've never done straight up guilty pleasures. So maybe we'll just have to watch or have an episode where we list off movies that we love but are kind of semi-embarrassed about.
Maybe Rob will finally admit he likes Mean Girls. You know, you never know.
Oh man, Mean Girls! Mean Girls the musical is coming soon. I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but shout outs to that. Thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you very much, Chris Ho, for subbing in for the Mr. Rob Gaudette. He will be back next week where we'll be talking day shift. I always want to say daybreak, but it's not daybreak. It's day shift.
I think there's a Kevin Hart movie too called Me Time coming out with Mark Wahlberg. So yeah, that you could always watch that too.
I think that will be fun. I don't know if you ever watched Man from Toronto or whatever they called it. I couldn't get into it.
I hear that was all right, but Gray Man's way better than all of them.
Yeah, so. Gray Man's a ton of fun. I don't know.
Yeah. Do people not like Gray Man?
Yeah, it's kind of divided.
Really?
It's kind of divided. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Mean Girls. Oh, you know what? Yeah. So keep an eye out for First Night. 10 Things I Hate About You back-to-back review. I don't know if Rob will be on
First Night. Heath Ledger doubleheader. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's do the Heath Ledger doubleheader. I'll call up the crew. I'm pretty sure Sarah would want in on that one. So shout outs to that. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your night. And keep an eye out for all the other stuff that's coming out this week. I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about that House of the Dragons and whatever else come out. Journey Smollett, that's the name of the girl from Friday Night Lights that is playing Black Canary.
We're great at naming people from shows. Just like the guy.
The guy we probably should have had the sheet left. Yeah, Rob is like extremely good at knowing people's names. So yeah, peace out, everybody. Yeah, Knight's Tale. I feel like people are on board for this Knight's Tale thing.
No, Knight's Tale, great movie.
Let's see what happened there.
Has Wash from Alan Tudyk from.
Oh yeah,
see, I'm doing it again. Alan Tudyk from Firefly.
Yeah. He was on The Rookie. I just watched an episode of The Rookie. So Alan Tudyk.
Oh man, I watched that just for the interaction between them.
Yeah. He plays the guy who cleans up after the crime scene.
Yeah.
Really funny part. So shout outs to The Rookie. I feel like everyone should try.
I watch Alan Tudyk. I don't watch The Rookie, but I watch Alan Tudyk's show, which is called Resident Alien, and Nathan Fillion played a part in that. So that was good. Anyway, that could be an underrated show, Resident Alien.
Interesting. Yeah. Let's do this. Yes.
We're keeping you guys all night. We're just gonna keep talking.
Yeah. We're just joking. We're gonna be we're like those guys that you're trying to hang up on. You're like, okay. Anyways, we're gonna catch you guys later. Thank you everybody for sticking with us. It's Hanging with the Ho Bros. We can still use the moniker for Rob. We'll just remove the bro parts, and you're still hanging out with the hoes. Ha! Take that, Rob. Peace out.